The following podcast is taken from a live broadcast on Inspire FM.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Sisters Speak on Inspire 105.1 FM. You're here with me, Faiza.
Me, Amina.
Me, Sadia.
And me, Samiha.
Okay, that's great. Welcome to Sisters Speak, everyone. It's been a long time since I think a few of us have been here, e.g. Sadia.
I was here. I was here
A
last
long while
year,
ago.
but last year wasn't that long ago.
I was going to say, I always say that when she's here, I'm like, hey, Sadia, you're here.
I feel like I have my gaps, but my gaps are consistent.
Right. I think consistency is a big thing on the show. But,
Yeah.
you know, thank you everyone for holding down the fort with us.
Holding it down.
Yeah. Today we have a variety of things to discuss, but our main topic today is going to be this concept called mansplaining.
Oh yeah, I'm
Yay.
excited.
Mansplaining, right?
Getting ready for it.
Before we get into the nitty and gritty of mansplaining, can somebody, Amina, tell us what our show's about?
Yes. That sounded so weird. So our show is a platform for Muslim girls to voice their own opinions on current events and issues, and even form discussions on general topics such as religion, culture, politics, social media, Islamophobia, etc. Please note all opinions and views are our own, and we respect all other or opposing similar views and opinions.
Thank you for that. And remember, everyone, you can join in on our discussions today by doing what, Sadia?
You can call us in on 01582, or you can text in or WhatsApp in on 07779 481822. Thank you. I sound like an advert.
Or
I said text or
Facebook,
WhatsApp. Oh
Facebook
yeah,
Live.
Facebook Messenger. You can see us, guys.
they can see us.
Messenger, Facebook Live.
Yeah, comment
Sorry.
on our Facebook live stream to get involved with today's discussion. So, every week on our show, well, every week that we do have a live show, we have a little segment called Thought for the Week. So this is something that we want to share, maybe a rant, maybe a story, maybe just something beneficial to us that we'd like to share that may be beneficial for the listeners, or we just want someone to listen to our pain and laugh at us, maybe. I don't know.
Laugh with us.
Not at us.
At us.
Come on, guys.
Probably laugh
We're
at
a
you.
team.
I'd laugh at you. I'm joking. Right, so who wants to go first? Samiha.
Okay, so my thought of the week, and I have been thinking about it for some time. It's the idea that Muslim women don't really have that much space in the masjids, and there's like a really huge lack of leadership roles that women are given, and I think it's a national and international problem, and it's a mentality that Muslim communities have, and it's a shame because it's not I don't know where it's come from, because it's definitely not it's not a prophetic thing, and it was definitely not a part of the prophetic history, and the masjids were a lively and thriving place, and women were so much a part of the fabric of society, and masjid is the focal point of everything in a community, right? And it's so sad, because during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there are some incredible narratives of Muslim women who did amazing things, and I feel like the younger generation, and especially girls and women out there, really need to understand that he was so much for empowering women. And I think it ties in with the whole discussion that we're going to be having about mansplaining and and things like that. And I felt like there are narratives that wouldn't exist if the Prophet ﷺ was against the whole idea of empowering women. Like his wife Aisha radiallahu anha she held court, and she was a commander of an army, and it was a time very politically sensitive for Islam, and her decisions changed the course of history. So I just wanted to get that off my chest.
Fair enough.
And I felt like I went abroad in Europe, and I went to a masjid, and literally the size of the praying area for women was the size of a broom cupboard. And I have had people say, oh my gosh, it was the size of a broom cupboard, but never experienced it. And the carpet was really gross and hadn't been cleaned, and we had no choice but to pray there, and it was really sad. because the men's side was sprawling, you know?
It always is, isn't it? I've seen this topic discussed on social media a few times as well.
But alhamdulillah, like,
It's like a recurring theme.
locally, I think
we're
very like good in the sense that women have like quite
In some,
like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
not in all.
Yeah.
But the tragedy is that it's a mentality that is so fixed in the community. Like, you don't see a Muslim woman on the masjid board or anything like that, and it would be nice, I think. And there are some incredible mosques all around the world and in the UK that are doing that. But
For more involvement with women in masjids.
yeah, but it's just that mentality, and I really hope it changes for the future of Muslim women.
Inshallah. Sadia, what's your thought for the week?
So, I just quit a job on Friday.
Oh, wow.
And I want to complain about how, no, genuinely, I feel like the work system and certain areas of work are really inhumane in terms of how they treat their workers. I feel like management, the idea that you need to be strict all the time, there's such a lack of like respecting workers' mental health within the work field, and I just feel like everything's so focused on making money that people at the top forget that everybody is a regular human being and you can't push people to certain limits.
Yeah.
And even if you can, you shouldn't. But yeah, I just feel like this system right now is like driving people into exhaustion because they are especially people at the bottom, the people who don't have much. They have to work so hard to make a decent living, whereas their bosses are probably doing like 10% of that, filing a few more documents. Okay, maybe they're a little bit busy, but you're working your workers to death for like 10% of what you earn, and these people don't even care. And I just absolutely hate this structure, and it just keeps people within that system because things are getting more expensive, rents are like becoming extortionate. It's just really
Is it the blatant
unfair.
disregard for the mental health of workers?
Blatant disregard for mental health, passive-aggressive behaviour within the workplace, just feeling like your manager is they don't really care about you, because a lot of the time they don't. You're disposable in that sense. I think in like areas like retail, a lot of workers definitely feel like disposable, because essentially you probably are, because it's really easy to get someone to replace you in retail. And I just think it's disgusting how people are treated in these environments by their managers, and they're not getting paid enough for what they do. There we go, that's my rant.
Wow.
Wow.
I hope it gets better.
Yeah, I hope it gets better for you as well.
Oh no, I've quit. Like, I've got a new job.
Generally, like,
Hopefully a new one after that.
Amina, your thought for this week?
Mine is keep it short. I don't know. It's short in my head. I was just thinking about how like when when you have friends who are like trying to make a change in their life, or just trying to do something new or try to improve something, I think it's really important that I don't know, this is just something I thought about myself recently, that we just kind of support them in that and be like their little cheerleader. Because I think sometimes when you make like a lifestyle change, or not even that, when you're just trying to do something, like improve something in your life, and you don't have anyone there to talk to about it, it's kind of like in your head you don't know how important it is to actually carry it through. And I think it's nice to have friends there to be like, yeah, you go girl.
You go, girl.
That's so cliche, but like,
Aww.
I think
That's
it's nice
No,
to do that. And I think like as a friend, it's just, I think it's important for us to always like kind of take a step out of our own lives and see what other people are doing, and see how we can help them just get through it and achieve what they need to achieve.
That's really sweet.
Because like we're always told we're born into this life alone and we're gonna leave alone, but but we're born into families, and if not, we make friends, and we kind of make our own families, you know.
Of course.
And yeah, like we should always support each other and be kind.
Cheer each other on.
So
Yeah.
if you ever need a cheerleader, Amina is available.
Yeah, just DM me, guys.
Go, girl. Before I move on to my thought for the week, going back to Samiha's thought for the week, you were talking about masjids. So we have a comment in from Ali Khan on Facebook, and he says, Salaam alaikum sisters. Wa alaikum salam. Firstly, mashallah, great program. Thank you. We tried to tune in. He says, I'm based in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and we are in the process of renovating a church for a place of worship, which it originally was a church. We made sure that the sisters area was focused on, and to make sure it was kitted out with projectors, screens, and a large area to accommodate special needs, as well as parents with children, and a play area. So yes, we're definitely
That is
looking after our
amazing.
sisters, mums, daughters, inshallah.
Thank you so much. And I hope that your masjid flourishes because it
Yeah,
sounds like an
inshallah.
incredible place.
That
inshallah.
sounds incredible.
Oh my
Aw.
God, I will visit.
Actually, I just want to chime in. I think in the summer I visited the Cambridge Eco Mosque.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
And it's so lovely, and also there's a room for mothers and children which is soundproofed. So like during Ramadan, like that's when the busiest time is,
yeah.
and like when kids are crying and stuff, no one can hear. So like they can go in there and no one else gets disturbed, and they can like be with their kids. And I just thought it was
Aw.
really accommodating, and
Yeah.
it was just so simple, and like there was a space for everyone. It was just really lovely.
And there is no visible barrier. Like you can see the
Yeah.
imam if he was,
Yeah, it
if
was
it's
just
not
like-
crowded.
There's a
you'd
little
see
barrier
him.
there, and like if you need to find your husband, you can
Yeah,
just be like,
you can just
"Hey,
kind of like,
hey."
Look at me, I'm
And the
here.
ablution space for women, it's like an azure. It's beautiful.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Oh, so you've both visited the
Yeah.
Cambridge Eco Mosque. Oh,
I recommend
Inshallah.
anyone
It's
should go
actually a
and
very
visit it. It's
uplifting
really
experience.
lovely.
You get a Spanish vibe off everything.
Yeah.
Like there's an Andalusian vibe.
Ah,
They even had a dryer for your feet in the wudu area. I thought that was really progressive.
Genius.
Yeah.
ah. So that will conclude
Leave that in my
thought
house.
for the week.
Right.
That will conclude thought for the week now. Moving on to our hot topics for this week. So we have 2 hot topics for this week. Something that's always in the news. Well, recently, this big old storm. How do you pronounce it? Sierra or Kiara?
Ciara?
Kiara.
I thought it was
Sierra.
It was Kira,
Thought it was
Ciara.
This woman
However you
of a
wanna say it.
storm is definitely.
Can we just discuss why are these storms always like
With
named
women.
after women?
No, there's a
No,
Storm
no, no.
Dennis on its way. The Met Office.
Okay, fine. I'll let
announced
this one go.
Oh, okay.
Dennis the Menace.
that. But seriously, a whole storm. Did you travel in the storm?
Yes, I
actually didn't.
it was on Sunday morning. I came out my house and there was a wall. It had fallen. It just had fallen on my road.
A wall,
God.
a brick wall.
A literal wall. Somebody's
Bricks.
yeah, literal brick, right?
The power of
Of a
women.
house.
Saturday night, me and my husband were sitting in the front hall and we had this huge bang.
Oh my god.
So we went, he looked out and he couldn't see anything. And then on Sunday morning, we were driving out of our road and this wall had just, and people were just standing looking at it. I'm like, wow.
How did we get rid of these bricks?
Right, it was intact
Oh,
and the
God.
whole wall just had
Wow.
It's
fallen.
UK, you know. It's really falling
So,
apart literally
yeah.
now.
Storm after storm. No,
And,
seriously, I think be safe. Don't travel.
Yeah, it was dangerously
How was
windy.
How was it travelling though? Like was
Yeah, it was
Did you
my
go
parents. My parents actually travelled in from Leicester on Sunday.
okay.
And my dad was saying it was quite scary because he could feel
Of
the car
course,
doing
yeah.
this, and he had to be in Luton on Sunday, so he couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said it was incredibly worrying. Like,
What was
Yeah.
quite frustrating was there were travel, like train companies put out, don't travel unless it's absolutely necessary,
Yeah.
okay? Why were people out if it was absolutely unnecessary for them to travel on that day? A trampoline hit like one of the trains, like,
Oh my
and
God.
it
Yeah,
was
I heard of
I found
that.
so many
garden
trampoline
and- yeah.
stories.
Where are these trampolines coming from? Why are they near so many train
because they're so
stations?
easy to be lifted by the wind that they end
Okay,
up
but
in
how do
just
they always
say
find themselves in
something.
train stations?
no,
When
it's
you get a
because trains go
trampoline,
through gardens.
you're meant to
like,
weigh it down.
As in, like,
you know what I mean?
trains,
Like
gardens, yeah.
back of houses.
Oh yeah, you meant to wait, yeah.
Yeah, like I have sandbags on my trampoline.
I'd probably be blown
just
away.
flexing my trampoline.
Flexing the
Yeah,
sandbags.
So she's flexing her
Thanks to my
trampoline.
dad. Like that wasn't my idea.
Oh God. Well, there's another
What a
storm
life hack.
coming. So this weekend,
Come
do
on,
it again.
Dennis.
Stay safe.
We're ready for you.
Stay inside. No, but this one's going to bring snow.
Oh.
I don't want snow.
I didn't know it was
I just want it to
snowing
be
in other
warm.
parts of London.
Like it's February now.
Right.
Your time has passed.
Your
Don't
time
come now.
It's still
You're meant to come in
winter.
December.
It's still
early
winter.
January.
I'm ready for a holiday, man. I just don't like this
Trust me,
cold.
I
My
need a
hands are
break.
still cold from 20 minutes ago.
And I lost my gloves, and I thought, oh, conveniently I lost them because winter's over.
Yeah.
But no, it's come back, and I've lost
Oh.
my gloves.
It's
Winter
okay,
is
excuse
coming
to buy
again.
yourself
Yeah.
more fancy gloves.
Well, look who's joined us.
Hi everyone.
Who are you?
It's Sonia.
Thank you. Thanks for joining the show, Sonia.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having
How are
me.
you
Full
today?
house.
I'm alright. What have we been talking about?
So now we're going to
The
be
weather.
talking about
How British.
well, the woman of a storm, actually.
The
Storm
name.
Kiera, I don't know what her name is, but it's something like that. Anyways, our next hot topic is Kobe Bryant and his impact, which is still ongoing in the news, on social media. And I think it's just quite interesting to see how even those who didn't watch basketball or didn't even know who he was, once the whole news came out, everyone was impacted in one way or another. Like, how many of you knew who he was before?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never
Yeah,
watched
I do.
basketball, but I still know
Yeah,
who he
yeah.
is. Yeah, absolutely.
Why do you think that is?
I think as ethnic minority individual, it's I think he was our mascot, to be honest. With all due respect to Kobe
Yeah.
Bryant, you know, he was our mascot, that he was achieving so much and overcoming so much. And America's pretty harsh if you're if you're a member of an ethnic minority
Yeah.
group.
There's always someone like for the downfall.
Yeah,
or
and I
like-
feel like he was the ultimate underdog, you know, and he did it, and
And he did it well.
he did it well.
Yeah.
He had
And
such spirit.
I don't know if any of you guys saw this whole thing about the 3 daughters thing.
3 daughters?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So a lot of people. So there's some. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing.
No, go on.
But a lot of people used to ask him because obviously he's
Oh,
such
yes.
a big
That thing.
basketball player. Naturally, it's like, oh my god, do you wish you had a son so
Son.
he can carry on your legacy?
Right.
And he was like, never, because he had Gianna. I don't know
Yeah.
if I said that right, but yeah.
Oh.
And she was a star. Like he was like, that's gonna be my legacy. She's amazing.
That is-
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's-
she
that's
was
breaking my
specific.
heart.
And he called himself a girl dad. I don't know if you all heard that. Yeah.
This is breaking my heart even
Yes.
more.
Girl dad.
That was trending all
trending.
over, and it was like, and it's also Islamically as well. They were saying it
Yeah.
about how if a man has 3 daughters and then 2 daughters, and then there's like a house in Jannah as well.
Yeah.
And
My dad has 2
and, like, they were
daughters.
so
You're welcome, Baba.
like they were
Yeah.
like it was so sweet because you saw all the dads coming out who had like so many daughters or just all daughters.
Yeah.
And like it was like a trend that was going around.
It's such a nice thing to be appreciated for that
Yeah.
for once, rather than a bad thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he did that because his girls' basketball group, that's something he
Yeah.
runs, you know. So he created that opportunity
Yeah.
and provided that platform for girls.
And his daughter even was saying, I think they were interviewing him, and he was like, "Oh, like, do you want to have a son? Do you want to have a son?" And then I think she intervened in one of the interviews, and she was like, "Why does he need a son? He has me. I'm the
yes,
next
girl.
basketball player." Like, oh, it was
And
so
she was
sweet.
so good for her age. She's incredible.
Yeah.
She hit hoops every single time she shooted.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember, like, a few weeks or months before he passed away, like, him
There
and
was
his
that
daughter was a meme. They were a
And-
meme. Now
yeah.
it's
You
so
know, every
sad.
time I
No,
saw
you
that-
can't use it anymore.
You can't.
I
No, but
In good-
when I
in good
saw that
vibes.
meme, I didn't even think it, like, the memes
You
were
didn't
funny.
think, no, yeah.
but-
you didn't think it would be.
Other than the meme, like, we didn't know about what was going to happen, but every time I saw that little video, like, if it was a GIF or a video or whatever, I always thought, like, that was so heartwarming because
Yeah.
the interaction between them,
love
I just
his
thought it was
style.
so
Really sweet.
adorable because he was like, he's probably saying like some kind of dad jokes,
Yeah.
like
explaining the
laughing.
game, and she's like, yeah, I know.
And I just thought
I
it
got
was
this,
just
Dad.
it was such a cute interaction, and I thought it was nice that went viral
Yeah.
before he passed. Like, we don't know what's
Yeah,
going to happen,
totally.
but
Exactly.
it kind of just set the mood for his relationship with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his
And
legacy.
his other daughters,
Like,
like it
I
just shows
can't
the kind of
see that.
person he was.
Can't see the meme in that way anymore. Like before, everyone would be capturing it like different things.
Yeah, and now she's got
Yeah.
like a cloud of sadness over it.
But you know what? It's definitely left a lasting impact.
Yeah.
Like Kobe and his daughter's death is such a huge thing. People are still talking about it
Yeah.
everywhere, and even at work, if you guys go to uni or whatever, it was a very sad moment, regardless if you watch basketball or
Yeah,
not.
that's
Yeah,
true.
for
And
sure.
that's what the
That's
biggest,
the biggest
thing was.
Yeah, that's when you know it's
Like
someone
people
that's
who
bigger
didn't
than
even
that
know who
sport.
he
Yeah.
was.
He's
He
bigger than the
became a
sport.
real household name though. Like I'm sure we all knew the term like Kobe. We
Kobe,
talked
yeah.
about it before. But, like when you throw something and you get
In
it,
the
you say
bin, yeah.
Kobe. Like that just shows his impact. Like
I mean, not only
you don't even need to watch basketball, and then you just know his name.
I didn't know that. When
You didn't know
Did you
that?
know?
You're still
Well,
a culture
you know
fighter.
now. But you have to get
Fiverr, where
it
have
in.
you been?
If you don't get it in, don't say it.
Oh my god, I think I do know what you mean.
This was quite a few years ago.
So when
We
you
were
throw
probably
rubbish in the
high
bin,
school.
you're like, Kobe.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you get it in, though.
Well, it's like you do it while you're shooting.
Yeah, but if Fiverr's
Yeah.
not getting
But why
it in,
you don't
like,
get it in?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
You've already done it.
No, or the Mamba Foundation. I
Yeah.
didn't know that was like such a big word until his death, and then everyone kept saying it. And I was like,
that's kind of a good thing, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's given that like attention in a positive way.
yeah.
So you know, people know.
And it's
what to-
crazy because normally you'd see people like when someone would pass like the good and bad thing.
Yeah.
You've not seen any bad.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's just been very
Let's not bring out
Positive,
You know,
yeah,
this,
of
this,
course. No.
it's just. I think it's a place for everyone to learn from. Like a lot of people after that were like, cherish your loved ones.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen at any time. I think they were on the way to training as well,
yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah, or something like that. It's just
Yeah.
such
I thought he was going to
normal-
pick it. It was picking them up from schools, wasn't it?
No.
She
no,
was in the
he
helicopter.
uses.
Oh, he uses it to pick
as
it up.
that, yeah.
Okay.
But it was. There's also that thing about him and his wife that they would never ever travel on a helicopter
Yeah, I
together.
saw that.
They've made a pact that they'll never travel on a helicopter together just in case.
Rightly
like, something will
so.
happen.
Rightly
Wow.
so.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I heard the royal family does that as well.
The two founders of Coca-Cola do that as well. Sorry.
Really?
Throw that
Fun
in.
fact.
Yeah.
Oh, because they all know
One
the recipe.
secret recipe. Only they can't all be in a helicopter at the same time. Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe it's a myth, guys. Let me just put a
I believe it.
disclaimer.
I believe
Something
it.
I saw on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh god, the wild internet, really? So we don't know if that's the
I think it's true.
Should we Google it?
We'll look that up and confirm for
So
you.
she's gonna doubt it because it's on the internet, and now we say let's Google it.
We'll find more than one reliable source.
Right, so that will bring our hot topics today for a close. Moving on to our main topic today, which I think a lot of us are
We're ready.
we're
I've
ready
been
for
ready
this.
all my life for this topic.
What is our topic today, Sonia?
Our topic is mansplaining.
So before we tell you what that is, if you would like to join in our discussion, how can you do that, Amina?
You can text or WhatsApp us in on 07779 481822. You can also call on 01582 481822. And we are also on Facebook Live. So yeah, you can see us there if you like. And comment down below, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you guys. This is an interesting topic and we want to hear your
If you want to
views.
hear both views.
Do you agree with us? Like, we're about to go off. And
They're about to go off.
you guys
You're about to
Hold
go
them
off.
back.
yeah, like, don't hold back. Doesn't matter what side you're on. We want to hear what you
Yeah,
want to say.
if you're for it, against it, if you've never heard of it before, let us know all your thoughts, your views, your comments, even if you disagree with us, and male or female.
Yeah.
Anyone's welcome, female. Whoa. So, our topic today is mansplaining. Who picked this topic, Amina? Why did you pick this topic?
Actually, Samia suggested it to me, but we both agreed on this topic.
Why? Why today? Why this topic?
Last week, when I was coming on the bus to here, this guy was trying to explain to someone who was studying psychology about psychology, and he does maths, right? And you can tell how I wasn't eavesdropping; they were just so loud. And he was like, no, you have to have psychology. You have to have maths in psychology. And she was like, I've never used maths, and I've been doing it for a year now. And I just thought that he was so adamant about something that he doesn't really know about, and she's studying it. You know, she's more of an expert than he is.
Yeah.
And he was so adamant, and I just felt like there's something wrong there, you know? And it's not fair on her because she was losing because he was being so aggressive about it. And I came and I said that to Amina, and she was like, oh my god, we should
Talk about this.
yeah. And I thought,
Yeah, like,
why not?
we've all had our fair share of
Yeah.
mansplaining.
Yeah.
We will explain that later.
Oh my god.
But that leads us on to Sonia. Can you tell us what is mansplaining?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is not my own words, but
Not my own
mansplaining is the explanation of something by a man, typically to a woman, in a manner regarded as condescending or patronizing. And usually whatever he's explaining is inaccurate, so similar to what you've just said, or oversimplified. So for some reason, it's spoken to as if explaining to a baby or someone who doesn't understand. That is mansplaining in simple terms. Should we go into it more?
Yes, we shall. Yes, we shall. Sorry?
Do we have time?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we have like 2 minutes to the ads, but we can slowly
can
get
get it
into
in.
it.
Oh, we
First
have
of all,
time.
those listening, have you ever been a victim of mansplaining?
Oh my god, tell us
Or
your experiences.
have you experienced it? Or
Have you been a mansplainer?
yes.
Or now that you know the definition.
What was the definition again?
Quickly.
So, if you explain something to a woman in a patronizing or condescending manner,
Oh my god, I want to hear all your
you
stories.
might not have realised,
How
but
can you
think
do
back.
that?
Think back, guys.
Have you been guilty of doing this?
How can
You
they?
probably
how can
have.
they join in? How can they join
Oh,
in?
you can.
Text or WhatsApp us.
On 07779 481822 and comment down below on our Facebook Live.
We have like 30 seconds till the adverts. So we'll hopefully, inshallah, hear from you after the break in like 20 seconds.
No, honestly, I'm
About
so excited about
mansplaining.
this.
Are women underestimated in society? Let us
Do
know.
we underestimate ourselves because
Because of-
we've been
yeah.
victims of mansplaining? Let us know.
We'll see you after the break, inshallah.
And these are all
Or
subjective
You can hear
opinions.
us after the break, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Atif Nawaz and you're listening to an Inspire FM podcast.
Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome back to Sisters Speak on Inspire 105.1 FM. You just joined us after the break and today we're discussing
Mansplaining.
Yay.
We should have all said it at the same time.
I know, it would have been
Should I-
so
Should we do it again?
One,
3,
two,
wait.
2, 1.
Mansplaining.
Hey.
Right, so before the break, Sonia was just telling us what the definition is. Do you want to just repeat that just so everyone
Yeah,
listening-
absolutely. So it's the explanation of something by a man, typically to a woman, in a manner regarded as condescending or patronizing. And usually what they're explaining is inaccurate or oversimplified.
Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
So, anyone who is listening, and we will respect all opposing and similar views, please do get involved in our discussion today on mansplaining. How can they do that, Sadia?
You can call us in on 08582 481822 or text and WhatsApp us in on 07779 481822 or you can message us on our Facebook Live and watch us too. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, it sounds like an advert.
I know.
Pre-recorded.
Oh, good. Pull your mic a bit forward. There we go. Right, so today's topic, mansplaining. So you just had the definition from Sonia. Sorry, there's so many
Yeah, we're
S's
just the
in there.
same.
So,
There's three
as
S's in
a
there.
woman,
my god.
as a woman, have you ever felt undermined or made to feel incompetent? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Woo, okay.
Should we do 3, 2, 1?
Yes.
You know, this so Pfizer always asks yes or no questions, and we're usually like,
It's only
yeah,
one.
It depends. It depends. We're like, yeah.
And
We
now
have-
today,
Obviously,
it's
women
like-
in.
Yeah. Right. So,
Isn't that part of the package?
is this the first time you've heard the word mansplaining, or have you known this to be a concept from before?
I know about it.
No.
Mansplaining is in my blood.
Well, no.
Whoa.
It's in their bloods.
Well, it's in their bloods, but I call it out like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You've never.
No, I said I have.
Oh, you
yeah.
have. Sonia?
I mean, I feel like I haven't, but I haven't realised at the time. That happens to me a lot. Like now we're talking about it, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, yeah, that was mansplaining. Oh yeah. But at the time, I think I take everything as a joke. So if a man is oversimplifying something and talking to me, I'll just do it straight back to him. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll take it on the chin and throw it back at them. So I don't actually. I want to say I don't feel affected by it. But I am, obviously, but it's just at the time I don't take it seriously.
Okay.
But having said that, it's definitely condescending. I do notice it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just like to throw it back.
So, what do you think it means? Do you agree with the definition that Sonia said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
definitely.
would you word it in a different way?
No.
I'd like to add that I don't know if this maybe there's like a different definition, but like being patronizing, well I guess that isn't it. Like basically when you're explaining something in a manner that is just like unnecessary also. I think I've seen the difference on how men explain a certain thing to their own boys
Yeah.
and then to a woman, and to the woman it's completely different to his
I think like
to the
condescending
man.
is the
Yeah, being
such a right word for
condescending.
this.
Just the whether she's educated on the topic or not, like just the manner in which they speak is just like
And I think it comes from a place of seeing women as inferior and less intelligent to you. That's literally the foundations of it. And it's just from a very sexist, hierarchical viewpoint. Misogynistic too.
Yeah, that brings me on to a question that we just received in. She didn't leave her name. I can tell it's a she because of the slow picture. But on WhatsApp, someone just messaged saying, is mansplaining always offensive?
Yes.
I would say so.
Because it's offensive to be on the receiving line of someone who's being condescending. And I find it offensive for someone to speak to me as if I'm stupid. Like, is that not offensive?
Yeah.
I think the concept of mansplaining in and of itself, fundamentally, even before they open their mouth, it's an offensive thing.
Yeah, let's not
And it makes
confuse
it-
like men explaining and
Oh, of
mansplaining.
course.
They're different things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying if you actually have like a degree of knowledge on a subject and
Fair
I
enough,
don't, and you explain something to me
That's
in a nice way, that's not mansplaining. That's just you telling me
Yeah.
in a nice way, in a respectful manner. Mansplaining is when you assume that you have a much higher level of knowledge to me and you look down on me and explain it like I'm stupid and I'm wasting your time by you telling me these things. That's...
It seems
whole
to
different
be
thing.
that mansplaining is just a communication thing. Am I wrong? Or do you think there are different versions of mansplaining? Or is it just mainly like a communication of
I
talking
think
down?
if a man is in charge of something that's to do with women, and I mean, even like in the government, when there's like laws regarding women, and a man is in charge of that and makes the law, that, in my eyes, is a form of mansplaining.
Oh, yeah, that's very
I never
Do
thought
you
of
see
that.
where I'm coming from?
Yeah, like pregnancy abortion laws.
Yeah,
They
who
just have-
makes them men? Yeah.
Well, yeah, mostly it's been that way.
Yeah.
And it's like when a man comes and tries to explain pregnancy to you. I mean, no, you
Like
don't.
what?
Mansplaining at a
surely-
government level.
Right, and I feel like that's... Wow, Sonia.
In a respectful way, you
Yeah.
explain that. How did you do it? Please
Well done.
explain.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that this is a more common thing in the workplace than anything else?
I think it's...
Than anywhere
No,
else,
I think
actually?
family is
I
the
think
biggest
we
place.
experience it in all walks of life.
Yep.
And for me personally, I haven't realised I've been mansplained to until I've left that. I'm like
Yeah, same.
there and someone's talking to me and I'm like, but unlike Sonia, I don't even give it back. I'm that. Like, I'm just like, okay,
I think
I'm
it might
stupid.
be different in the situation you're in.
I guess
so. Like
so.
you guys mentioned, if it happens in the family, that's completely different.
Yeah.
Because if it's your uncle, you're like, I can't
My
disrespect. You feel like you can't disrespect your uncle, right? But have any of you been in that situation where you feel like, I know what I'm saying, and you're saying it back to me? Like I'm a baby, like I'm a child that doesn't understand, and number two, you're telling me something completely different.
Yes,
do you know what I'm-
absolutely,
Yeah.
literally.
It's not the same thing you're talking
Election
about.
time, I was debating my cousin, and he was saying something completely different to what I was trying to say, and he just turned the argument into something else. I'm like, that is not what I was talking about.
Yeah.
First of all, and he was like, well, I read much more articles than you.
Here we
And I'm
go.
just like, are you joking right now? Yeah, you read the tabloid news that has an agenda. Congratulations, you haven't watched a single leaders debate. And you've admitted that. So please don't come to me about this. I know you're 20 years older than me, and you think that me having a politics degree means absolutely nothing in the realm of actually discussing politics.
So this is your own
But
experience.
this is a literal experience that I'm talking about. I just feel like they still see me as a 5-year-old girl who wants to like wear glitter on her face and stuff. They just can't accept when young girls turn into young women and become
Yeah.
educated and stuff. They just still see you
Even
in
if
that
you're a grown
form.
woman, even if you're
Ex-
grown,
yeah,
doesn't matter
yeah,
how
yeah.
old you are. If you're a female, it's something different. It's like you shouldn't know too much about this topic, or like,
Yeah.
let me educate you.
Yeah. Or else they
you could be
feel
a whole
inferior about
doctor.
themselves.
You
They
know.
cannot stand it when you know a little bit more than them on a subject.
I'm guessing from Sadia and Sonia's experiences, this is mainly within the family rather than work-based or outside-based.
I feel like
No,
you can't get away with
mine
it
is
much
everywhere.
in the workplace.
I just don't
though.
really acknowledge it. I just kind of, like I mentioned,
You
just
just like,
throw over it, go for it.
It is everywhere, but I think it affects me most in my family because I can't escape them.
yeah.
I've experienced it in an academic setting. So when I was at uni,
Do you want to
I-
explain?
yeah, like fellow students, you know.
Fellow students.
I felt like certain aspects when we were discussing things and, you know, especially when you discuss it in terms of your own culture. So they come from a different culture and you come from this culture and you're explaining it to them because you were having a discussion and all of a sudden it's like no, that's not what your culture states. That's not how it is. And I'm like, excuse me, I've been born and bred in this culture. And
Okay,
I feel
that's quite
like, yeah,
frustrating.
and I feel like it's so sad because if they weren't mansplaining, they might actually have something valuable to say, you know? No, honestly, I feel like if you could maybe disregard the mansplaining, and if you were having a very fruitful conversation, you could be adding to each other's knowledge as opposed to it becoming a sort of, as soon as I hear mansplaining, I switch off. I lose all respect. And I feel like that's such a tragedy. Because, you know, if they weren't mansplaining, I might have actually appreciated what they were saying, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a shame that it happens in for me, it was an academic setting, and it's where you go to, you know, engage and flourish. But, you know, you kind of shut down a little, I guess.
Amina, personal experiences on mansplaining?
I don't really want to be specific about where and who and when, but
in the briefest terms.
I've experienced it a lot. And it's just like, it can be over the smallest things, and I can just tell instantly it's because I'm a woman, or I've seen it happen to someone I know, and I'm thinking, wait, is this really happening? Like, are you really talking to them like that, or to me like that? And I also wanted to mention, I feel like women have been mansplained to so much and for so long that personally, and some other women might agree, that we kind of been conditioned to think that we're stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I've found myself in situations where someone's telling me something, but they're telling me in like such a condescending manner that I think, am I that stupid? And then when I've gone and told someone, they're like, no, you're not. You're not.
And
I'm like, yeah, I'm not stupid. And then it's too late, you know?
Okay,
But
no,
yeah,
I understand that.
I think that's
agree with
also the
that.
sad thing, because it's not just, you're being mean to me, I don't like it. You're creating I can't really explain what I'm trying to say, but the way you're talking to someone is not just that 5 minutes you're being mean to them.
Yeah.
Lasting impact.
It's a lasting effect. You're changing the way they think about themselves and the way that they're going to do things for the rest of their lives, potentially.
Yeah.
If they don't talk to someone else about it.
Because do you think the way we are, especially as women, that we'll think about it a lot? Like,
Especially
we'll
young
think about
women.
it after the conversations happen, and then we'll start remembering things like, oh wait, hang on, no wait, hang on, and then the conversation's over, so you can't really go back to it.
I think we really need to like stand up for ourselves and kind of in the moment and actually have the confidence to be like, yeah, I'm not stupid, but I think it takes time.
Sadia?
I totally agree, and it kind of comes on to what I want to ask right now. I kind of want to talk about the demonization of us pointing out mansplaining.
Demonization.
No, it fully is a whole demonization. I feel like when women speak out and say, no, you're being condescending to me right now.
Yeah.
They're being dramatic.
Yeah, we're told being dramatic.
That's
You're
a
like, oh,
problem
you're
now.
such a feminist. What, like, men can't get away with anything anymore.
More,
enraging
I hate that
itself.
term.
It's not all men.
We can't get away with anything.
It's not all men though.
Oh, yeah, they say not all men.
No, I'm
Obviously, we're generalising, but we're talking about such a wide range experience for women all around the world. And I feel like it should be discussed. Like, it doesn't even, if you don't mansplain, that's fine. You don't need to be offended.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, of
okay,
course.
fair in mind.
I
bear
feel
in
like
mind, but
some-
not
I don't
all
need to
men
hurt-
do
not hurt
mansplain.
them.
No,
Protect
not
your
all
ego.
men
Yeah.
are like that, but I feel like some men feel so entitled that they don't even know they're mansplaining,
Exactly.
right? And when you do point it out, it's like, no, that's not me. I'm like, well, yeah, a little bit.
They're like, I talk to all women like that.
Yeah, like that is the problem.
Okay, we've got a few messages in. I'll read one from Facebook from Rashid Nazar. He says, I think the problem with mansplaining is that the person, usually a man, although arguably not always, thinks that he, or his opinion,
It's called mansplaining. No, but carry on. Sorry.
or his opinion is more superior to the person spoken to. It may be more to do with the attitude of I know more, which could in essence be an element of pride, which of course is contrary to the teachings of Islam.
Rashid, I just have a question. Why do you think that women can mansplain? I'm really curious. Like, please
I've not
text
heard
in.
of
I want to know.
womansplaining. It doesn't even work.
No, maybe it's like, I'm thinking maybe it's that he's saying women defending men in
Who
terms of...
mansplain?
That's
yeah.
not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, because
I
I did
agree with
actually
the
say
point
that I
he's
wanted to
trying to
discuss
make.
on women
It does
who
make
try
sense.
to, quote, act like men in terms of trying to
Yeah.
be taken seriously. So yeah, Rashid, please expand.
Any other comments on?
But yeah, I think it does come from pride, and like he's saying,
And ego.
that doesn't come from Islam, which
Yeah.
is a really important point to make, because the way in which we carry ourselves, and as Muslims, the only thing we should take pride in is our character, and whether or not we have good character, how we hold ourselves when we're around people, how we talk to people, and mansplaining is not Islamic.
It's not, to be honest.
You know, I think it does come from a place of pride. I think, Sadia, you mentioned like it comes from their ego and
Arrogance.
their arrogance.
100.
And when you put your pride behind you, then when you find yourself having to explain something to someone, particularly a woman, then you wouldn't explain it to them in that kind of way.
Yeah.
I think maybe if you're a person who regularly mansplains and you're hearing this and you think, actually I do that, I want to change, maybe try to picture the woman as a man and then and then explain it to her as if she's a man.
Can I just say, like, I think expanding from what you're saying, it's like it's so hard for a man to be wrong, and I just want to say, guys, we can all be wrong. That's how we learn.
Yeah, of course.
You go to school, you work every day, you learn
people make
something new.
mistakes as well.
Exactly, and you shouldn't be ashamed of being wrong. Like, it's just a learning experience.
Yeah.
I think that's such a big problem with men. Not men not all men.
Thank you.
Just sometimes in this whole mansplaining situation.
I think that we have to actually just say
Put
not
a
all men.
disclaimer
I feel
out.
like
No, but it's true though, but
we
not
know
all
that
men.
it is though. We're not saying that all. We're not
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
saying all men. I feel like
of course not.
don't have your ego so large that you feel the need to be offended by this, because this is a topic that impacts us way more than it impacts you. We're the ones being damaged here. If you feel offended, maybe it's you actually do it. And if you don't do it, don't be offended.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, going back to what Amina said, you brought up a really good point in terms of how women would, especially I think in our communities, are conditioned to think that they're maybe not as intelligent or that they shouldn't be educated to a certain level that men are.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Especially in terms of mansplaining
I feel like
within our
this-
culture.
I feel like there is a, and this is purely my opinion, there is a ingrained understanding between men and women is do not question me back, or if I say something you should accept it, and they
Yeah.
feel so entitled.
Especially older men.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know when it's going to change, to be honest.
I think one thing with that is also, you know, the media in terms of TV programs do not help in this situation.
Like, please expand.
Cultural TV programs
Right.
always have that constant same portrayal of the
You mean
men
like
is-
South Asian background
Yeah.
TV?
Damsel in
okay.
distress
Yeah.
and the whole,
I know she doesn't know anything and only the man does, and you know the
Yeah.
whole thing where he's like, don't talk back to me, and they do it like a good read.
Lightning bolt.
right now.
And do you know what? You know what's worse is that if it is a woman that's strong, and I put that in quotation marks,
Yeah.
it's still that her end aim is to be married, and that is it's like, oh, she's now married and she's got kids and
She's
she's
usually a
settled down.
villain
The
too.
freedom's gone. Villain. Let's not even get started on
Strong
that.
women always villains in these shows.
Yeah, but it's like it still has to be. Why is there still a man involved? Why can't it just be a woman alone? And I think that links into what you were
Yeah.
saying, that the way it's portrayed, the woman is always weaker.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a say of her own. She can't do anything by herself. She needs a man to show her the path.
She needs to
Yeah.
be tamed.
And that's where
That's
this
the
whole concept of mansplaining, it does come in, because you think, oh, okay, maybe they know better than me. And some women don't even know they're being mansplained too. So they're probably thinking, oh, okay, so he probably knows better. So
That's the sad thing.
yeah. So and then they just get into that routine of like, oh, he's always right, so I'll just carry on listening to what he says because I'm probably wrong.
Some of these women have degrees and stuff in their own fields, and they're incredible.
Yeah.
I feel like when, like you said, Sonia, when they're put into relationships that are difficult and, you know, whatever, they kind of just go with the flow. And I feel like they compromise so much of who they are
Yeah.
in order to kind of go along with whatever the male hierarchy is suggesting.
No, definitely.
And that's such a tragedy. It really does break my heart.
Side note, just a little shout out to all our strong women out there.
Yeah.
Little appreciation shout out. You're all great. Keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even though, especially
Rock.
those working women who always are like, women, like those people who always like, women should be at home looking after the kids and they shouldn't be working and doing so and so. Damn you, because honestly, those women should be appreciated for what they go through. You know, having kids, coming back from work, still cooking, cleaning, doing everything. And then they're like, they put themselves as the last priority and they put everything else above them.
Yeah. They wind down at 10 and go to bed at 12, and then they start the whole thing all over again, right?
Those listening, remember, you can get in you can join in on our discussion on how, Amna?
Text or WhatsApp us in on 07779 481822, and we are on Facebook Live.
Yes, so
Comment down below.
Yeah, so we have one text in from Cal, and they say...
Carry on.
It's a friend, isn't it?
It's a friend. What is the best way to combat mansplaining? But I think we're going to come back to that. But the first thing I want to ask is, would you personally stand up to it and express that it's belittling, yes or no, and we'll go around?
Yes.
Yes or no? Would you stand up to it and express that it's belittling, yes or no?
It depends what the kind of person I am, no.
Yeah, but I think I've got the privilege of being that kind of person, and a lot of people don't.
Samiha?
It depends on the situation.
It depends on
I know
who
I
it
said
is.
yes, but it's conditional. Like, I wouldn't do that to the elders of my family.
Sonia?
Not that I would do
Now
it
that
with
we've
my
had this
parents,
discussion, I would say yes. Like before, like I mentioned, it was a joke to me. Like,
Okay.
just threw it back, but now, yeah.
Right. Yes, no, right, so you said yes or no. So why? Why wouldn't you?
I think because I'm like a really non-confrontational person, so
Yeah.
like just like the kind of personality I have, I just wouldn't do it. But then I'd go home and be like, hey, did this? I actually said this, but I wouldn't. I just don't have it in me, which is why I hate mansplaining so much, because like
It's just one of those things that
I just hate it. Like I think Sonia said before, she zones out. I just zone out. I just don't give it to them. I'm like, okay,
fine, whatever.
I get home
just keep
and
going, like
make
tire
up
yourself out, keep going. Yeah, you're tired now, bye.
Sadia, you said that you would.
Yeah, I think I get angry and, get them even more angry. Like I said that I think I've got the privilege of feeling like I can, but because I think I've got the confidence to do it, and I think at this point I don't really care what they say if they've belittled me. But yeah, I feel like all women should be given the confidence to speak back to men and not feel like they have to lose something, especially if it's like a family member. Like, I hope that we can all call this stuff out.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I feel like within my family, we try to call it out. And, and
That's
I think
good.
sometimes it happens unintentionally. I'm not defending mansplaining, but I think that if you have someone that loves you, certain aspects come about in an unintentional way. And if you call it out and they appreciate it, that's really wholesome, I feel. I'm the kind of person that would totally be happy to do it to a stranger. And then I like
I would be
someone you don't
scared.
know.
So, because I'm like, I'm never going to see
what about
you.
the streets? Like,
Your relationship's not going to affect me. I'm cool
okay.
with it. I'm like, it doesn't matter.
I mean, Sadia's thinking about like violence.
yeah,
or
what if it's
something.
like on the street, like someone's trying to
Oh,
mansplain?
yeah, I feel
Really,
like-
but you don't know what they're capable of.
No,
I wouldn't do
would
it
never
personally.
do it if
Just
I
get ready to run.
Oh, wow.
Like, you're wrong, and then bolt.
But I would never. I try to avoid conflict, so I would probably never do it to someone that I.
Actually, I think you would do it in a calm way. I would probably shout.
No, I try to be gentle as possible. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you're quite gentle.
that sounds like a bit like you're
It's like silent but deadly.
yeah.
You know? Sonia, how would you?
I can't think of the best
Do
way
it.
to combat mansplaining. I actually can't.
Would you stand up to it and would you say that this is wrong? Like what
yeah,
you're saying
absolutely.
is
I
wrong?
would try my best, but I think I'd be on the verge of looking dramatic, which is I just don't want to be that person where it's like, oh, she's getting over excited, or like, why
Yeah.
you-
Oh,
why
she's being
why is it so
dramatic.
Being
deep?
dramatic.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
I've had that so
yeah.
many times.
And I hate that. So
Calm
I think
down.
there needs to be a way of explaining it without looking like that, because people don't take you seriously once you start shouting. Even though men do it, some men,
Even
not all
though
men,
they did
and
probably
that's
deserve it.
fine.
No, fair enough. How would you guys combat it though?
You know what? I wouldn't use the word mansplaining because they always throw that back at you.
What?
If you use the word mansplaining, they'll be like, "Oh my God, you're such a millennial. Like that's feminist. Like mansplaining, that's not even a thing." you know
What is that accent?
they do not take that seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, a few comments that we've just got in. I don't know if I'm saying this word right. Fayaz? I think you just sent a voice note, but I can't play that right now. But says ladies want equality.
Oh, damn.
Sure, I do.
Yeah.
I would like that.
Someone else who didn't leave their name also says, surely if you want change, you must find it within yourself to make it happen.
I'm not a man. I can't do
This
that.
problem isn't within us. The problem is within the men, and they're just throwing it at us.
Testosterone fueled brains.
They need to combat their own pride and stop.
Exactly.
But do you think that we can, as women, can we help in this?
The only thing we could do is raise our sons right.
Yeah.
Other than that,
That's so true. Profound.
it's on you, men. Like I can't mansplain to myself.
I mean, what does that even mean? Find it within yourself.
As in,
We're
I
talking
think
about it on a radio show.
maybe as women, we could maybe if we do witness it, experience it, whatever, we call them out on it straight away, and we explain to them what it is and why they're saying that.
I think we need to stick up for each other too.
I'd just like to say again that that problem is not within us. They're projecting their problem on us. It has nothing to do with me.
I think it's a
Absolutely.
testament to their to certain men's fragility. Honestly, they feel threatened and
So
sense
I don't know, call it out on maybe the men should reevaluate things. Just
maybe
but that's
like
down to them.
I don't think women are the issue here.
No, definitely not. I don't know
Personally-
who wrote that, but please.
I mean, we say that, and we're all women anyway, so there's no man to defend the.
But
the
in
men.
It's a common. I think it's a very well diagnosed problem in
I'm not going to say
society.
And I
sexism is a
think
fault of
women
women.
mainly see that because obviously we're victims to it, whereas I don't think the men would see that as a concept as well. But again, I guess it is within themselves to combat that. But we can also assist with that as well.
Yeah, by explaining to them and not mansplaining to them.
I think
Explain
certain
women's
men, when
explaining.
you explain, they are.
Don't even say
seconds.
I just want to say that certain men are very open when you explain things to them.
Thank you.
Please be one of them.
Thank
Yes.
you for everyone who joined in our discussion today. Sorry I couldn't read every comment out, but please join us next week, inshallah, 6 or 7 on Inspire FM. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. Why not tune in to our live stream at inspirefm.org and follow and subscribe to our social media platforms at Inspire FM Luton.